So as a teenager in England, searching for meaning and belonging, I attended the Walton Baptist Church. I love that place because it gave me certainty and clear answers in a time when life was overwhelming and complex. I felt safe, I felt loved and guided there. Plus, it was where my friends and the nice kids hung out. And I'll never forget the youth pastor couple, Patty and Ann, who embraced the teens with great care. They taught us what God did and did not want from us. And one Saturday, I remember hanging out in their fellowship hall with a youth group where they were teaching us about relationships. Now, what teenager doesn't want to learn about the ins and outs of relationships, right? So I was really excited. And Patty and Ann asked me to be an example for what would happen if Christians were to date non-Christians. Yeah. They asked me to get up on a chair in the middle of the room, and then Patty came along and pulled me roughly off the chair. This is what would happen, they warned, if we dated non-Christians. We would be pulled summarily into the fires of hell. I remember being deeply impacted by that experience. As you can tell, I remember it now. And I made sure from then on that I only dated Christians in the church because I was a good girl. And also, with Patty's encouragement, I promptly went home and I boldly told my atheist parents, you might remember this if my mother's online, that I feared they were going to go to hell if they didn't take Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior right now. Needless to say, that didn't go down too well. And my parents were rather shocked and dismayed that I'd become so dogmatic and certain of the answers to life's mysteries. Now, of course, a year or two later, once I went to college and I asked more questions, my entire belief system crumbled, and I began exploring many other religious and spiritual paths. Because there's so much we don't know, isn't there? But being young and hungry for answers, I wanted the definitive truth about what was life about then and there. And I wanted to feel like I'd figured it out and what would happen to us after death and why we were on this earth and what we were supposed to do with our lives every day. And the born-again Christianity of my youth gave me many clear answers and led me down a path of certainty that bolstered my fragile ego and my sense of emerging self. But I noticed that that kind of certainty also separated me from my family and led me to feeling superior, like I knew it all, and as a result, disconnected from non-Christians and actually from a majority of the world. Most religions try to give the answer to life's mysteries, don't they? They tell people what to believe, how life is structured according to their holy book, what is right and what is wrong, and even what happens to us after death. I don't know how they know, but they seem to know. They offer certainties and moral codes and connection to God and allegorical tales that their followers must buy into to be part of the fold. But Unitarian Universalism, on the other hand, does not offer us one definitive answer. In this room and online, we sit among Christians and atheists, humanists and spiritual but not religious people, Buddhists, Jews, Mormons, Hindus, and pagans. Each of you has found your own path to truth and meaning, yet you're not insisting that yours is the only right way. You're comfortable sitting next to someone who has a very different theology and cosmology to your own without feeling the need to convert your neighbor to your way of thinking, right? And that's one of the things I love about this faith. We don't tell each other what to think. We embrace the mystery. We embrace that revelation is not sealed, that truth is ever evolving, and that we have not found the one and only answer. In fact, perhaps there isn't even a one and only answer. We embrace that there are many paths to the mountaintop, if there even is a mountaintop. We embrace that there's so much we don't know. We embrace the mystery. Now, science works hard at explaining the mysteries of life. It too wants to offer us definitive answers. Yet, as many of you who are scientists will attest, science hasn't proved that God does or does not exist. It hasn't found clear evidence of what happens after we die, or even what our lives are about while we live. There are lots of theories about dark matter and dark energy, fractals and black holes, and science has made remarkable progress with quantum physics and many other ideas in understanding the universe and our place in it. However, there are still so many mysteries about life and God that we humans just haven't been able to solve. There's so much we don't know. For example, we have yet to fully explain how life arose from non-living matter. And while there are several theories about the origins of life, none of them have been definitively proven. Why did the universe come into being in the first place? And why does it exist in the form we see today? And why is there something rather than nothing? You heard our kids talk about it earlier. Are we alone in the universe? Is there intelligent life beyond Earth? And if so, where is it? And how would we even go about finding it? The vastness of the universe suggests that there must be other life out there, but finding it seems to be an incredibly challenging task. And we also haven't been able to determine the ultimate nature of reality. Are space, time, and matter fundamental, or are they emergent from something deeper? And what is the relationship between our perception of reality and actual underlying reality? There's so much we don't know. We can't definitively explain the nature of consciousness. How do our brains create our subjective experiences of the world? How and from where are we able to observe ourselves as we do in meditation, our thinking, our feeling, and sensing? And how do the mind and body interact? For example, we don't know how thoughts and emotions cause physical changes in the body or vice versa, but many of us know that they do. And although science can tell us about the biological, chemical, and physical processes that sustain life, it cannot ultimately answer the question of what life is all about. The meaning of life is a philosophical and existential question that each individual, every single one of us, must answer for ourselves. What is the purpose of life? Why are we here? And what is the meaning of existence, if there is one? So these are questions that I know many of you have thought about and have been pondered by philosophers and physicists and astronomers and theologians and ordinary humans for millennia. And there are no easy answers. These mysteries continue to fascinate and challenge us, and they remind us of the limits of our current understanding of the universe. And as we learn more about the universe and ourselves, we may eventually be able to unravel some of these puzzles. But for now, there's so much we simply don't know. This life remains a source of fascination and wonder, pushing us to explore the vastness of our universe and the depths and breadths of our own consciousness. So, we are left with the mystery, my friends, embracing the mystery of this existence, from the magic of birth to the mystery of death. Floating in space on this beautiful blue-green planet in the midst of a vast multiverse with but our short lives to live. I commend to you a fascinating film on Amazon Prime called Inner Worlds, Outer Worlds, which is an extraordinary in-depth exploration of the mystery. Embracing the mystery, my friends, requires humility. Humility to recognize and admit that there's so much we don't know. Author, philosopher, and friend Pico Iyer, who regularly goes to the same meditation retreat I do to ponder the mystery of existence, says, "The opposite of knowledge isn't always ignorance. It can be wonder or mystery, possibility. And in my life," he says, "I found it's the things I don't know that have lifted me up and pushed me forwards much more than the things I do know." And he shares that during his regular travels with the Dalai Lama, His Holiness often says, "I don't know." He models humility as a spiritual leader, admitting that he doesn't know all the answers. And not knowing, or beginner's mind as Buddhists call it, is a wonderful perspective from which to embrace life. It's like the eyes of a newborn. It's a way to remain humble, open, and connected to one another as we navigate this mysterious existence. The illusion of knowledge can be more dangerous than ignorance, says Pico Iyer. Transformation comes when I'm not in charge, when I don't know what's coming next, when I can't assume I am bigger than everything else around me, he says. And in the end, perhaps being human is much more important than being fully in the know. So as part of our revision of our Unitarian Universalist Article 2 bylaws, we are embracing mystery. Rather than list each inspiration that our faith is based on, as we have done for the last 35 years in our 6 sources which accompany our 7 principles, the new language suggests that we don't limit ourselves to naming all our influences, because we couldn't possibly name them all. Indeed, the section on inspirations comes from a broader, more humble and pluralist perspective. So I invite you to read the language in the newly proposed Article 2 on mystery with me now. Inspirations. Read with me. Direct experiences of transcending mystery and wonder are primary sources of our Unitarian Universalist inspiration. These experiences open our hearts, renew our spirits, and transform our lives. We draw upon and are inspired by sacred, secular, and scientific understandings that help us make meaning and live into our lives. These sources ground us and sustain us in ordinary, difficult, and joyous times. We respect the histories, contexts, and cultures in which these sources were created and are currently practiced. Grateful for the experience that moves us, aware of the religious ancestries we inherit, and enlivened by the diversity which enriches our faith, we are called to ever deepen and expand our wisdom. So, my friends, if you'd like to learn more or be reminded about the proposed changes to Article 2 and our Unitarian Universalist values and covenants, I invite you to check out News and Notes Or go to our website and watch my sermon from November 5th on our new values if you missed it. My friends, mystery abounds. Since there's so much we don't know, I invite us to release the illusion of having the answers. I know we're tempted to do that, aren't we? I invite us to embrace mystery with humility and an open heart and mind. Honestly, I find life a lot more exciting when I admit I don't know and let life just surprise me. So let's accompany one another through this mysterious existence as we navigate pain and pleasure, joy and struggle, as well as our day-to-day and our attempts to find the answers. But let's resist the urge to assert one truth, because it limits and divides us. Instead, I invite you to remain curious and filled with wonder. We are here on this blue-green planet for such a short time. Life is such a precious gift, a miracle, really, when you think about it. When we reach the ends of our lives and we don't know what will happen beyond our passing, may we embrace the mystery. And as we stare at the night sky, or listen to an owl's hoot, or see a baby being born, may we fully embrace the mystery of this existence with humility, an open heart, wonder, and awe. May we delight in not knowing as we sing a joyful song of gratitude for our lives. There's so much we don't know, my beloveds.